So I was sitting on the floor of my closet, and I had this wonderful idea. Now, I like Arizona green tea. I also have this big area on my wall that I don't know what to do with. So I thought, okay, I've got a bunch of Arizona cans, as you can see. So what if I just turn those into something to put on my wall? It's perfect. So after 5 minutes of thinking, I came up with a plan. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all the Arizona cans out and flatten them like this. It doesn't look perfect, but it's not really supposed to. You'll see what I mean. So I'm going to be cutting out all the cans with this box cutter. Playing with a box cutter. What can go wrong? Okay. So the plan basically is that I'm going to cut out all the Arizona cans, flatten them, stick them all together, and basically make like a sheet of just the aluminum. Then I'm going to get some big pieces of paper and I'm going to trace out the Arizona logo. Then I'm going to stick the paper on top, cut it out, and then I'm going to have the Arizona logo, but the shape is going to be made out of the cans. And that's basically what I'm going to stick onto my wall. So after about 30 minutes of cutting cans and spewing moldy green tea everywhere and deep cuts, I finally finished cutting out all the cans. And cutting them, I did find moldy Arizona green tea. So I've decided that I'm going to wash them before I continue creating this. So I traced out the Arizona logo on some big paper and I flattened all the cans, which took so long I'm not even going to bother showing it. But I did save one can, so I will show you how in case one of you 5 people who are subscribed decide you want to do this at home. So to flatten out a can, I just got it, laid it down, and hit the edges with a mallet. Great. But you're just going to want to hit around the edges, and then you just kind of roll it to flatten it out. Perfect. And to trace the Arizona logo, I just taped the paper to my TV. I connected my TV to my laptop, and I pulled up a picture of the logo on my laptop. Of course, it was bigger on the TV, and then you can just kind of trace it. Now is what's probably going to be the worst part, which is cutting all the cans out into the Arizona logo. I think I'm just going to kind of lay the cans down over it, or under it, I mean. And then cut along the lines, and then it'll kind of be, all of them in the shape of the logo. So I'm kind of differing from the original idea, which was just to make a big sheet of cans and then cut. But I'm going to be cutting first. And I think I'm going to be connecting all the cans by putting popsicle sticks on the back, all over it. Maybe something else, if I can find something else that can support it. But for now, let's just cut. This is super boring. I don't have any music to play or anything. So you can just kind of watch me cut out this A, or the shadow of the A, while I talk. So, yeah. Special thanks to my cats for supporting me while I was making this. So after cutting out this little shadow of the A, I've realized that this is not going to work. So instead, I'm going to be going and cutting out all the letters and shadows individually. And then I'm going to put those on top of the Arizona, trace it out with a Sharpie, and then just cut the cans themselves without the paper, because if I do it like this, it is going to be a disaster. Hooray, another time lapse of me cutting paper with the only audio being my voice and no music. Sorry about Cora laying on the paper, in front of me for 2 seconds. It's not that big of a deal, but she kind of blocks me. But I'm sure you'd rather see her than me anyway. Alright, so I cut out all the letters. The Z is kind of a mess, but, that's kind of expected. Cora's been helping me out. So now I have to trace all the letters onto the metal with a Sharpie. And then I'm gonna have to be cutting out all the metal, which is probably gonna be what takes a majority of the amount of time, making this. And it's already taken forever. But let's just get into it. So I finally finished tracing all of the letters onto the cans. It looks like a mess, but trust me, it makes sense. See, the ends kind of it connects. But that's basically what it was for all of them. The Z was kind of horrible to do. This took, oh my god, so long, like 3 hours. But we can finally get into the last part, cutting the metal. Okay, not really the last part. There's going to be like 3 other steps, but the last part that's going to be really frustrating to do, which is cutting the metal. So I cut out the A, and I think it looks pretty good except for this little bit, which we tried to do before we tried cutting all this out. So that doesn't look too well, but it's not very straight at all. So I'm gonna have to go put like popsicle sticks or maybe paper clips, like stick them to the behind, to kind of straighten it all out. So I hope just the rest of these letters go as smoothly as the A did. Ooh. But I guess we'll just see. Got all my paper scraps underneath the bed. It's kind of a mess. I'm gonna have to clean out later. It's gonna be a pain. But for now, let's just get on with this thing. Guess what? It's another time lapse with just my voice. But I think there should only be like 2 or 3, maybe just 1 more of these time lapses. There's going to be one of me putting the poster board behind it for sure. I don't think about connecting. I think I'll just do all the connecting off screen. But yeah, sorry. Alright, so I finally finished cutting out all the metal pieces. That was actually pretty quick. That was probably took faster than anything else I've done so far on this project. So I've laid out all the metal here, got all the letters. It's kind of, a mess if you look. It's all in shambles. But I'm gonna go see if I have some popsicle sticks. Then the first thing I'm gonna do is put them behind each individual piece so they're not so flimsy, I guess, Once these are all solid, I'm going to go ahead and stick the pieces together. So like stick this part in with the rest of the A pieces that are also finished. And I will basically just have all of the letters complete. For connecting these, like the shadow bits with the actual letters, I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do. I might just put like paper clips, like unbendable, and then put like 1, 2, 3, so you can't really see them. Or I might just do popsicle sticks, connecting them and paint them blue. That's gonna match the wall. But I guess we'll figure that out as we go. So I've thought about it a bit more, and I've decided I'm not going to be connecting them with popsicle sticks. I'm actually gonna be getting some poster board, like the white, thick type, and I'll just cut out all the letters again. And then I'll stick all the metal to that, so it'll be like the letters will be really solid, but it'll still be the part that's showing is still going to be metal. And I'm not quite sure how I'm going to connect those, but I guess we will figure that out whenever we get to it. So I got some poster board, I had a snack, and I drank some more tea, and then I started cutting out the letters. I got the poster board here. What I'm basically going to be doing is putting the letters down, tracing around it, cutting around it. I might make a little border, like just very small white, around the letters, just so it kind of doesn't end with the sharp, metal of the Arizona. And I think we'll be almost done. Then we'll just have to connect it and stick it on the wall. So I hope you're ready for another time lapse. So basically, I just traced around it, put a border, and after that, I actually hot glued the metal down to create the actual A itself. And then I just cut all around it with my X-Acto knife. And that is basically how I did all of the letters, which takes probably a lot longer than you think, but it was worth it. I did the A, and honestly, I think it looks really good. But it took absolutely forever. So I think I'm going to finish the rest of them off camera, and I'll come back and show you when I'm done. So it's been about a month and a half. I've had a lot going on, you know, but that's alright because I finished cutting out all of the letters, and I actually connected them all. Now I would show you me doing that, except it took so many days. It's not, like, there's really no way I'd be able to record it all at once. But basically what I did is, I got paper clips, unbent them and wrapped them around 2 at a time. And then basically I duct taped them to the back of each letter. Let me show you. First I duct taped them until I looked at it all and all the spacings were good. And once all the spacings were good, I went in with some hot glue and just hot glued all the little edges. But before we finish with this thing and just stick it up on the wall, I think I'm going to go ahead and paint the paper clips white because I feel like the silver wouldn't really go with the blue of the wall. But I do have some extra white paint from when I painted my room, so I think I'm going to do that. So let's just do it. Now, one thing I want to kind of point out about this time lapse is that there's actually a tiny little bug walking next to the bottle of paint. I didn't end up using my wall paint just because using a can of paint that's like huge was so much more extra when I could just use a bottle. But that bug is moving pretty slowly to be going that quick in a time lapse, just saying. Painted all the paper clips white. I think it looks pretty good. Now, by far, the hardest part of the whole project is going to be spacing the letters. And that's just because it's left up to your own estimation. There's no really way to measure it. Like with the letters, we did tracing. I guess the borders were kind of estimated, but the spacings really I just kind of did by sight. I'm sure there's a way you can figure that out better. I just wasn't smart enough to figure it out. But this is the way I did it. And I think it looks pretty good. So just kind of move them around until it looks right to you, and then stick them all together. But I think we're almost done with this, so I'm gonna go ahead and let it dry. So while that's drying, let me kind of explain to you my plan for how I expect to get this thing up on the wall. So I've got some poster putty. The only problem with this is I'm not sure if it's entirely gonna work because the thing's pretty heavy. I mean, not like too heavy, but pretty heavy. And this stuff's been laying around my house for nobody knows how long. So I'm just kind of not exactly sure if it's gonna really work how I want it to. But if it doesn't, I'm probably just gonna stick a couple thumbtacks into the wall right underneath the crevices where the wire is gonna connect to the letters, or maybe inside of some of the letters, like inside of the A, inside of the under part of the Z maybe, or inside the N. But I'm gonna try this, and if this doesn't work, we'll figure something out. But for now, this is what I'm gonna go with, and I guess we'll just see how that goes. But overall, I think the project is going pretty well so far. I expected it to be a complete failure in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie. I actually, I got some boxes, Arizona boxes that the little cans come in, and I actually cut out the faces of those because I expected this to fail, and then I was just gonna make the logo out of cardboard from the boxes, which would have been super lame. But I'm very happy with the way that it's going so far. So let's just hope for the best and hope that nothing goes wrong, because after all the hours I've spent working on it, it would really kind of suck. It would suck a lot if something went wrong. But let's just see what happens. So it's about the middle of the night of the same day. All of the paint is dried. So as you can see, all the paper clips are white now, which I think will blend more. So now we're just on the final bit, which is sticking it up to the wall, which is going to be right up there. Put the putty onto the back of all of it. The putty's it's really gross, but it didn't really want to stick to the poster board, so I don't expect it to stick to the wall. But I'm going to go ahead and try, and if it doesn't work, I'll just stick in some thumbtacks anyway for additional support, which I'm probably going to end up doing anyway, just because I don't feel good with this thing hanging by this off the wall, because it's probably going to fall off and break eventually, but thumbtacks will help with that. So let's go ahead and just stick it up and be done with this. So then I tried to use the putty to stick the actual sign to the wall, and if you remember earlier, I said I didn't think it would work, but I went ahead and tried it, and it went about as I expected. So I did a bit of looking, and it turns out the reason this didn't work is that it's been sitting around my house for years, and that's why it was so brittle and broke instead of it was supposed to be, you know, like squishy, like putty, but it wasn't, and that's probably why it didn't work. But you know, I kind of knew that it wasn't gonna work, like as soon as I touched it, because I can't imagine something that felt like that would stick something onto the wall. So it's time to come up with a new plan. So I got 4 little nails here. That should hold it up. So basically, I'm just gonna stick one right there underneath the AI. I'm gonna put one right here in between the R and the I. I'm gonna put one in the O, and I'm gonna put one just in the top of the A. And that should hold it up, and let's just hope that this works out better than the poster putty did. So I measured where the first point was gonna go, and then I used a level to level it all out. Then I started marking the other 3 points, and then I just got to nailing. I then situated the piece onto the nails, nailed in the last few little bits, and that was it. And you know, I can't just leave silver nails up on the wall next to that. I need to fix that. So let's just do that right now. There it is. After so many hours of work and months, it's finally finished. And honestly, I think it looks pretty good. But tell me what you think. A mess. It's not that much of a mess, actually. I might do something else with these little pieces that I have left. Probably not the poster board because it's been stepped all over, kind of ruined as well. Like there's not much usable poster board left. But the cans I might do something with, and the paper I will definitely throw away. But yeah. So there it is, guys. That was pretty much my first real video on my channel. So if you liked the video, then like the video. If you didn't, then don't dislike, please. Make sure to subscribe, please. It's an emergency. I'm in danger if you don't subscribe, please. I'm kidding. I'm not in danger, but you should subscribe. And if you want to see me make more things, then definitely tell me what to make. And if you don't, then just tell me no. And tell me to delete my channel. And I probably will. So. If you subscribe, I'll send you a trash can full of can ends and an empty tube of toothpaste.